Resuming debate, the Honourable Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of Foreign Affairs.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This budget builds upon previous budgets by protecting the environment and strengthening the economy, and the results quite clearly speak for themselves. At 3%, Canada has the strongest economic growth of G7 countries. In the last 3 years, Canadians have created 550,000 new jobs and have pushed unemployment to a record 40-year low. More Canadians are working, wages are growing, and business confidence is strong. Budget 2018 is the next step in our plan to ensure that every Canadian has a real and fair chance at success. In British Columbia, we understand the importance of measures that protect our ocean and ensure a strong and biodiverse ecosystem. Canada relies on safe and healthy coasts and waters for trade, economic growth, and quality of life. And we recognize that the ocean holds a special place in the traditions and cultures of Canadians, and in particular, Indigenous peoples. It gives me great pleasure to focus on the Oceans Protection Plan legislative amendments that enhance marine environmental protection and strengthen marine safety, to support safe and environmentally responsible shipping. Passage of these amendments will strengthen safeguards to better protect marine environments from the impacts of shipping, including protecting endangered whale populations. They'll enable more proactive, rapid, and effective response to oil spills in Canada's waters. They will modernize Canada's Ship Source Oil Pollution Fund, including unlimited compensation for victims and responders in the event of an oil spill from a ship. And it will support research and innovation to enhance marine safety and environmental protection. Our government is entirely committed to the sustainability of wild Pacific salmon and recognizes that this commitment requires ongoing action in order to succeed. Recognizing the importance of fisheries to Canada's economy as a whole and commensurate with the Atlantic Fisheries Fund, this budget creates a British Columbia Salmon Restoration and Innovation Fund, which includes a contribution to the Pacific Salmon Endowment Fund of $5 million in 2018-2019. As well, our government is committed to the sustainability of wild stocks and is investing $107 million to support stock assessment and rebuilding efforts from coast to coast to coast. Canadians are deeply concerned about threatened whale populations. We're committing $61 million to help whales to recover, building on the approximately $800 million in investments to date under the Oceans Protection Plan and the $167 million in Budget 2018 dedicated to protecting endangered whales. The additional measures announced today focus on increasing the food supply for whales, reducing disturbance caused by vessel noise, and addressing ocean contaminants in order to strengthen our overall effort. Our government is making a real, long-term and sustained effort to help whales to recover. Plastics in the ocean is a threat to whales and to many other species. In my riding, the Pacific Science Enterprise Centre on the West Vancouver waterfront was the staging ground for Vortex, an art display by internationally renowned artist Douglas Copeland and commissioned by the Vancouver Aquarium to draw attention to the magnitude of the ocean's plastics global challenge. Copeland collected plastic waste from the shores of Haida Gwaii, which most people think of as pristine, and over the course of a few months assembled a display that's at the aquarium today. The Pacific Science Enterprise Centre is partners with the Coastal Oceans Restoration Institute at the aquarium, resulting in laboratory research collaboratively on microplastic distribution and its effects on the marine environment. This is really important because under the previous government, the long-term viability of this DFO lab on the West Vancouver waterfront was under severe threat. Today, we are expanding science research and partnerships to address ocean health. Mr. Speaker, we know pollution is not free. We pay for the cost of storms, floods, droughts, wildfires, and extreme heat, which is why we are ensuring a price across Canada on what we don't want, which is pollution, so that we can get what we do want: lower emissions, cleaner air, and new business opportunity. British Columbia has been a leader in pricing pollution, beginning since 2008. We were successful in British Columbia, and we know why. That success is about to be Canada's success. And I would like to share the outcomes of a report I was involved in 2015 about why BC was successful. First of all, we found that pricing pollution and a thriving economy coexists. Secondly, you need strong political leadership. Thirdly, keep it simple by creating broad coverage. Fourth, start with a low price. Fifth, commit from day one to a schedule of price increases and stick with it. Revenue neutrality makes pricing pollution durable. A price on pollution can't do everything. It needs to be part of a suite of climate policies. Prepare for a vocal and not fact-based opposition. And finally, expect a cleaner environment, an enhanced reputation, and a thriving clean tech sector. That is where this budget brings this country. We are also supporting the transition to a cleaner economy by providing an accelerated capital cost allowance for clean energy equipment. To increase investment in the clean tech sector, the government proposes that specified clean energy equipment be eligible for immediate expensing. With this change, the cost of clean energy equipment will be eligible for a full tax write-off the year it is put into use in the business. This change will encourage investment to create jobs for the middle class and help Canada to achieve its climate goals. Mr. Speaker, the Fall Economic Statement proposes two further important changes to Canada's tax system in order to enhance business confidence. Allowing businesses to immediately write off the cost of machinery and equipment used for manufacturing and processing of goods will fuel new investments and support adoption of advanced technology and processes. Introducing the Accelerated Investment Incentive and Accelerated Capital Cost Allowance for businesses of all sizes across all sectors of the economy that are making capital investments. The Accelerated Investment Incentive will help to encourage investment in Canada, providing a timely boost to investor confidence. Coupled with these new incentives is our government's strengthening of free trade agreements, and something that I've been very honoured to be a part of. Canada has a unique place in the world, located next to the world's largest economy to the south, with close business and economic and historic ties to Europe to the east, and deep connections to the fast-growing Asia-Pacific nations to the west. With the successful conclusion of the United States-Mexico-Canada Agreement, the Canada-European Union Comprehensive Economic and Trade Agreement, and the Comprehensive and Progressive Agreement for Trans-Pacific Partnership, Canada is the only G7 country to have free trade agreements with all other G7 nations. These countries represent 2/3 of the world's total GDP taken together. The government's ongoing commitment to free trade with economies around the world, including those in vibrant emerging markets, will help to further strengthen and grow the middle class and deliver long-term economic growth to benefit all Canadians. Mr. Speaker, equal pay for work of equal value is smart and just. We are very proud to be moving forward with proactive pay equity legislation. It is a key way our government is delivering on its commitment to gender equality. Work is underway and consultations on key design elements of the proactive pay equity system with stakeholders, including employers and organized labour, as well as other experts, has concluded. Our government will introduce proactive pay equity legislation for workers in federally regulated sectors in 2018. As we work hard to protect the environment and to build a robust, resilient economy, I think it's important to remember the difference we have made for families at home. In the 2017-2018 fiscal year, 9,650 families in my riding received the Canada Child Benefit. 16,060 children benefited from just over $57 million of investment through Canada Child Benefit payments. Since introducing this legislation in 2016, the policy has lifted more than 500,000 people, including 300,000 children, out of poverty. We believe in supporting Canada's middle class, and that's why we created the Canada Child Benefit. This summer, we increased the CCB to keep up with the cost of living 2 years in advance of our initial plan, so that families can keep up. Mr. Speaker, this budget puts this government on the right path. We take into account the environment and the economy. We take into account the importance of a strong middle class, and we take into account what's required for the 21st century for each and every Canadian. Thank you very much.